Well, hello Buffalo Bill fans. God, where do I begin? I've been walking around and seems like uh, forgive me if I curse a little bit in this video. I've been um, just a stupor the last 3 weeks. It's just like a 5-1 season has all of a sudden become like a joke, and I know how all of us are feeling right now. We're feeling slighted, we're feeling teased, we're feeling like, you know what, the son of a bitches did it to us again. They went and tricked us, and 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 just pretty much dangled something in front of our faces and just snatched it away. Tricked us into believing that they finally turned this thing around, that the coaches have finally figured it out, that the players have finally bought into what they're teaching. The organization was bringing in the right guys, and they've basically went out the last 3 weeks in three very, very critical division games after a huge win against San Diego at home after a bye. And they they and especially this last week in New England after losing two games in which they were in till the fourth quarter, and they go into New England and the big rallying cry is, these guys have beat us, and that, we're gonna go in there and we're gonna bring an attitude, and we're not gonna let this happen. We're gonna make this a dogfight. They sleepwalked through that game. I saw not 1 ounce of energy or emotion or from the team. The coaching, oh my God, Dick Duran, Dick Duran, buddy. I don't care if you went to fucking Yale. Are you retarded? Alright? You called a challenge against the Jets against Lavernius Cole's catch, which he clearly caught. I don't know what retard you have up there in the booth that's telling you to challenge or not challenge these calls, but he's a fucking idiot. Do you hear me? He is retarded. I don't care if he hears me. Actually, I want him to. He is retarded. Ralph Wilson, Tom Donahoe, Tom Modrak, fire this retard. He does not know what he's looking at. It's sad when you've got me sitting at home. I was actually in a sports bar watching the game, a Bills backer bar of all places, my first time. And I go there, and it was somber. It was like we were at a funeral. We were watching, it was just like, we couldn't believe what was happening. The first of all, the unnecessary roughness call was BS. It was total BS. I mean, what's a guy supposed to do? Run in full speed. He's got a receiver in front of him about to catch the ball, and he lays a hit on him. It's the Buffalo Bills against New England. It's Randy Moss. Let's throw the flag. God, 15 yards. They can't have a positive play here. 15 yards. Believe the very next play, the Welker. He was not only bobbling the ball a little bit, his foot was on the line. Duran, and Duran, I swear, this is the thing that pissed me off the most. In his post-game press conference, he would not take accountability for the fact he blew that call. He would not just own up like a man. At least I give that much to Trent. He'll go out and he'll take the blame for the whole team. He'll say, well, it's my fault. The offensive line sucks. I got to get rid of the ball. The receivers aren't open. I got to force it in there. I got to be more accurate. The running backs aren't running. I got to run. Trent will take the blame for everything. And you know what? It's unfair. The kid just turned 25 fucking years old, and the organization has put the onus of winning on him without giving him the proper tools to do it, the proper coaching. What do you do with a young quarterback? Especially when he's struggling. You run the fucking ball. You line up and you road grade people. That's what you do. Derek Dockery $50 million. Jason Peters holds out for a contract extension because all of a sudden he thinks he's the new Anthony Munoz, and because he was named to one Pro Bowl. Brad Butler given a contract extension. Langston Walker, I think $27 million and 375 pounds. What the hell are you doing? You're telling me you can't line up and just move people a foot. The reason Marshawn Lynch can't get a yard is because he's happening to dodge 2 or 3 guys in the fucking backfield every damn play. And you know what that tells me? That the damn defense knows what the team is doing. They're either running the same formations. Every time they're in the shotgun, they know damn well they're not going to run a draw. They're throwing. They didn't attack the Patriots deep once with Lee Evans, and that they've been giving up plays downfield like crazy. Their secondary is decimated. No Rodney Harrison. Asante's gone. Delph O'Neal's been getting burned right and left. He lost his job to a 3rd-round pick and Will Height. They had to bring Jason Webster back here in week 10. Ellis Hobbs is not 100%. You're telling me you can't test these guys? It was just crazy. It was unbelievable. The play calling, Marshawn breaks off 3 great runs. 3. And then it's 2nd and 5. Run the ball again. Run the ball. It's an attitude. Let them know it's coming. Run the ball. Nope. Let's throw. Get sacked. Then it was a 3rd and 11. Who do you throw to? Robert Royal. You're going to tell me in such a critical play during the game that you're going to put the onus on Robert Royal to catch a tough ball in traffic. And I don't want to hear about Josh Reed being hurt. I don't want to hear it because you know why? Josh Reed is a 5'10" wide receiver who catches some nice 3rd down passes. But this day in the NFL, with all the rules basically favoring the offense with pass interference penalties and the no contact downfield by defense backs, this guy hasn't scored a touchdown in like 3 or 4 seasons. I don't know if many Bills fans have realized that. This guy hasn't scored a touchdown since like 2005. Or 2006? How are you a starting wide receiver in this league and not catch a touchdown for that long? Don't ask me. I don't know. You know, he's a nice guy. He's a likable guy. He seems like a good 3rd down receiver. Looks like he can catch passes in the seams, but that's it. And now the offense can't operate without him. They can't do anything without him. If that's true, it's really sad. That's really sad. And Trent is getting, he's going to have some rough games. He's going to have some rough games. That's simple. But you know what? Football is not rocket science. It's not. It's very simple. Eli Manning is a classic example. He was the starting quarterback going into his 4th season, third or 4th season, and had a rough go of it last season. But you know what? The Giants finally got a clue. They started blocking for him, they started running the football with an attitude, and they got after the quarterback. Buffalo I don't understand how defensive ends like Buffalo has, how did they make the roster? I mean, they're nice players. Kelsey, I've seen his interviews, he looks like a nice guy. But the guy can't get to a quarterback. Ryan Denny, same thing. Nice guy. The guy can't get to a quarterback. Aaron Schobel, when he's healthy, a nice guy. He had 1 sack. Made the Pro Bowl last year by default. He had 6.5 sacks. This is your big play defensive end. This is your what was it? $6-7 million a year for 1 sack. I think they can get a guy off the street with decent athletic ability and decent size, and if you put him in there enough, you start him in every NFL game. I think he can get 1 sack by accident. he can, you're eventually going to run into a quarterback by accident, something. But the fact is, Buffalo doesn't have one player on that defensive side of the ball. And I know Whitner's hurt, but let's face it, Whitner's another nice player, but he's not Bob Sanders. He's not Troy Polamalu. He's not Adrian Wilson. He's none of those guys. He's just not. He's not none of those guys. Aaron Schobel, arguably your second best defensive player, or supposedly. He's not Dwight Freeney. He's not Trent Cole. He's none of those guys. He's not one of these guys that's going to go out and rack up sacks. He's just not. He's not that. He's not Patrick Kearney. He's just not. And speaking of him, he hasn't played in 4 games. He had 1 sack prior to that. And from everything I read, he's not going to come back for another 4. Why isn't this guy on IR? Why hasn't Buffalo tried to pick up like a Kabir Baha Biamilo, whatever his name is? Here's a guy who had 9.5 sacks last season. Green Bay just cut him. The guy still has ability. We've seen how Green Bay handles its players. I mean, look at Brett Favre. They just basically let him walk for a 4th. Maybe as high as a 2nd. This guy's there for the taking. No, Buffalo, he's a nice guy. Let's keep him. You know what? Nice guys don't win football games. They don't. And I know I sound like I'm bitching and I'm whining, and I am, but nice guys don't win football games. The point was, when opposing coaches look at the Bills' defense, they look at that defensive roster. There's just nobody that they say, you know what? This is the guy we have to stop to beat this team. Marcus Stroud's off the field 55% of the time because he either tires or they're just afraid to get him hurt. John McCardle, how much does he want to play for the Bills at this point? How much? They basically traded the guy and they had to take him back. How much commitment does he have to putting on that uniform and playing in it with pride? None. They'd be better cutting him and just putting Corey Mace on the team like they originally planned. They really should. They really should. And as far as the offense goes, the line is just, it's just sad. It really is. It's just sad how guys that are this big and make this much money just cannot get it done. And furthermore, they act like they know it. They act like, you know what? They have bought in to the fact that they feel like they can't run the ball. I think they were having a decent drive when they took the field goal. I believe it was 3rd and 1. They throw. You know what? You line up, and you know what? You say, maybe we're not that good at it, but we're going to try. That's the reason why they won the San Diego game. They stuck with the running game. They kept pounding it. They kept grinding it. They kept grinding it. They kept grinding it. And you know what? Eventually, it helped them salt away the game a little bit. But as far as the defense goes, there's just nobody on the team that can really that opposing offenses are afraid of. The game plan, oh my God, I was screaming. I was like, will those cornerbacks just please go bump somebody at the line of scrimmage? Please. They're giving these guys, if Tom Brady was the quarterback yesterday, I'm sorry, we would have been looking at another 56-10 blowout. That's what we would have been looking at, because they let Matt Castle play pitch and catch all day long. Let Randy Moss run 8 yards down the field untouched and just turn around and the ball's already in there. He's going to catch it. Let Wes Welker get a free release from the slot. He's going to catch it. He's open. Paul Posluszny looks lost. The guy looks lost. He's running all over the place. He's taking himself out of plays. When Castle ran right up the middle, Posluszny just kind of it was like they parted the Red Sea for him. They're like, here you go. The middle's open. You could just walk in. I don't think he got touched. It was sad. And opposing defenses know that, we take away Lee Evans, The Buffalo's offense has confidence in none of these other receivers to make plays. You know what I would do? I would start Evans, Hardy. Throw Hardy the ball, please. Throw him the ball. You know what? He only has 9 games under his belt. He's a second-round pick. Everybody's looking to throw him under the bus. He don't throw him the ball that much. And the few times they have, they've really tried to force it in there, and they've been picked off a few times. If Trent throws the ball over Revis's head instead of right to him, Hardy catches that. If he just leads him, he catches that for a touchdown in the Jet game. Simple. Last week, he's right there. They pitch it to him. He's too big. He's going to go in. Exactly what happened. Get a clue. Coaches, get a clue. Because right now, the significant change that we heard about, all this so-called continuity, that was the rallying cry. We keep our continuity. Well, your continuity isn't working. It's just not. And you gotta really feel like this coaching staff, which has been here, this coaching staff, the bulk of this offensive coaching staff has been here. All but Fairchild, I believe, and Schonert. Kugler was the assistant offensive line coach under Malarkey, I believe. But Studesville, Tolbert, the Coiner, the tight ends coach, I believe, don't quote me on it, but the bulk of Van Pelt was a quality control guy. I think he came in after Malarkey, I'm sorry, but regardless, the bulk of this offensive coaching staff, you know how I feel about the defensive coaching staff. This bend but don't break, Tampa 2, whatever. To me, it's a day late and a dollar short defense. That's what it is. Because they run a 4-3. If you can't get a pass rush with your defensive ends, it's like running a 3-4 that you can't get a pass rush with your outside linebackers. It's pointless. You can't force a quarterback to feel uncomfortable. You can't make him, miss receivers. You can't force turnovers. You can't make him make errant throws. You can't do anything. At least try to give your defensive line time to get to him. At least bump some receivers. No, let's play off, knowing that our ends and our line can't get to the quarterback, and just let's get picked apart all day. That's basically what the game plan was. And it was funny because a reporter asked Jaron, what were you trying to do to the receivers? And Jaron was like, and I love the way he tries to condescend because he has an Ivy League education, but the fact is he's retarded. He's the retard at the end of the day, and he says, well, we certainly do. Well, we do play him again. We don't want to give away our offensive game plan. We'd like to keep that to ourselves. You know what? You really actually don't have to keep it to yourself, Dick, because we know what you were doing. You know what? You were playing scared. You were playing scared. Your wonderful timeout call before you decided to punt. Hell, I could understand if you took the 5-yard penalty. That's different. But I could understand if you take the timeout and then decide to go for it. Okay, that makes sense. They changed their mind. They wanted to get the right play call in. That makes sense. I don't get what you were doing just taking that timeout. Really. And I don't know why you're coaching in this league, really. And I know, like, I sound like I'm boning and pissing, but it's just, if they blow this season, and the way their current schedule is, they're playing 3 of the worst coached teams in the league. The Browns, Chiefs, 49ers. 2 of those games are at home. If they lose one of those games, this season is done. This season is done. And I hope to God, the Bills organization, I've been a Bills fan my whole life. If you want to keep your fan base, if you want to, fire this guy, please, I hope that 3-year extension, you tear it up. Tear it up. Because you know what? This guy isn't going to cut it. He's a conservative coach. Look what Miami did. Bring in Tony Sperano. He goes up to New England and smashes them in the mouth. He gets that team ready to play. He goes up there. I don't give a shit, wildcat or not, gimmickly offense. He took those players up to New England, told them, you know what, we're going to shove this game in their face. And they did. Defensively and offensively, maybe even special teams. They just put it to them. And New England didn't have an answer for them. They out-coached them, and their players bought into it. If Jaron thinks if he doesn't have if he has an inferior, if the talent on his team is inferior, he coaches scared and he tries to hide him. New England, they don't give a shit. Ben Jarvis Green, 4-string running back, running team. You know what? We're gonna hand the ball to you 25 times, and you're gonna work. Matt Castle, you almost didn't make the team. Drafted Kevin O'Connell. You know what? You're gonna play quarterback for us, and you're gonna play well. Rodney Harrison's out. Brandon Merriweather, you were a first-round pick, a bit of a bust, but you know what? You're going to go in there and you're going to play. Jason Webster, you basically, we just picked you up off the street. You're going to go in there and you're going to play. You know what? Bills coaches, players, you know what? Just let's hope they don't throw you the ball your way. And if they do your best to just, not look too bad. Tackle him before he gets too far downfield. Leotis, we drafted you in the first round, and we're just not going to play you at all. I don't know why. We're not comfortable with you, but you're going to return kickoffs, and you're gonna laugh at the end of the game when we're down 20-3, and against a division opponent we've lost 10 times in a row. We've lost 3 division games, but you can laugh. That really ate me up. Oh my God, I was appalled. But it's simple as this: you can't run the football. Help your young quarterback. Catch his breath, take the pressure off of him. Not allow defenses to just pin their ears back and just make him feel uncomfortable. You can't rush the passer, get sacks. You can't generate a pass rush with your front four to save your life. You bring in 4 or 5, you bring 6 guys, you still can't generate a pass rush. I don't care. And Buffalo's secondary is not bad. It really isn't. I just think the coaches are putting them in shitty positions. They're if the coach is telling them you've gotta play a 7-yard cushion, they have to. They can't just say, well, fuck that, I'm gonna press him. Nope. They're like, they have to listen to the coach. So, I'm sorry, Bills fans. Thanks for listening to me. If you did it all, you can tell me to go fuck myself and shut the fuck up. You're a whiny little bitch. Whatever you choose to do. I'm just so disgusted. I'm gonna sit here in my fucking chair, wait till Monday night next week, and pray to God that maybe somebody gets a clue over there at One Bills Drive. I want to thank Chris Brown, by the way, who writes for the Buffalo Bills. He puts a lot of columns out, and even when the Bills were doing decent, 5-1, everybody, and it's funny because the national media looks right now. The Bills look like phonies. They look like pretenders. They were 5-1, and they look like, here's the real Bills. We were telling everybody this. Look, they're the losers that we knew they were. And Chris Brown does a lot of reporting, and I get a lot of my Buffalo Bills news from him, and he does a good job, and I wanted to thank him. And I just, at the end of the season, you know what, and you know what pisses Bills fans off the most is Chick Duran is just so emotionless. Just, the guy he just looks like he has he doesn't look like he has any passion. You know what, I think Bills fans would have appreciated a scene like Mike Singletary did. Bills fans would have, oh my God, we would have fucking gravitated to that guy. After the duds we've had the last 7 years, Greg Williams, God, could have anybody looked more clueless? Mike Mularkey, that name is, that name is perfect for what he did in Buffalo. And now you have Dick Duran, who's just Dick Moron, is more like it. He's got the perfect first name and just put an M, the perfect last name, Dick Moron. That's what his name should be. And it just, if he would have went in there and took a guy on the sidelines, you know, he would have grabbed Leotis. What the hell are you doing laughing at the end of this game? Get out of here. You know, get into the shower. You know, he would have went over there and scolded the offensive line. Run the ball. Give this guy, open up some holes. We would have appreciated that. He would have went in the locker room and took his pants off and did whatever the hell he did. We would, honestly, Buffalo Bill fans, we would have been like, oh my God, finally a coach who gives a shit and wants this team to win. But you know what? Well, you got Dick Geron, who in his press conferences, you know, he has to say something good. So he's like, you know, we punted it well. We punted it well. You know, and then Mormon, you know, he kicks that ball good. Mormon, you know, he does a fantastic job for us. You know what? And he does, because he has to do a lot of it. All right, Buffalo Bills fans, I'll try to talk to you next week. I'm just, you know, I'm glad I don't drink, because I'd be in the toilet right now. But you guys take care, and you know, have a good one, and let's try to keep our heads all up and try to turn this thing around. Thanks, guys.